everyone, I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. Today's tutorial is how to have a maturely modified smoky eye. We want to have a smoky eye sometimes too, right? If we have a night out, a special event, just a nice quiet romantic evening in, or we just want to spend some time in front of our makeup mirror and practice some new techniques. A smoky eye looks beautiful and it can really set off your complete look. So we are going to do this smoky eye, and it was a really good question from one of my subscribers, Jana. So Jana, thanks so much for asking for this. She had said, can we please do a smoky eye tutorial that is not with a black eyeliner? Because black eyeliner looks beautiful on darker skin types, but as we age and get more mature, that dark can look really harsh, especially if you have lighter colored hair, blonde hair, lighter skin tone. So this is for you, Jana, and for anyone else that just wants to look and feel their most beautiful for a special night out or a special night in, or just a Saturday playing with some makeup. So if you want to learn how to do this smoky eye with me, stay tuned. We're going to get right to it. All right, so let's get into this smoky eye. And isn't it fun to have a reason to have a smoky eye? Now, in smoky eyes, I think are a little bit, it's gonna be one of those days, stuff's flying, I'm hitting stuff. It's not nearly as complicated or as confusing maybe as it sounds like. I know I was a little intimidated of a smoky eye for the longest time. And then I'm like, it can't be that hard, but it looks so beautiful that it's worth learning the technique. And it really is more of a, I think a smoky eye is just that. It's more of a technique and an application than it is an overall look. Because the smoky eye can be done with blacks and grays and whites. It can be done with purples and roses and golds. It can be done with browns and taupes and beiges. So any combination from a dark spectrum to a light spectrum can be used for a smoky eye. It's really the application that gives it that smoky eye sort of look, and we're gonna do that today. All right, so I already have a bit of a primer on my eyelids just to save us a little bit of time. So if you are gonna do this with me and you need to catch up, just hit pause, put your primer on, and then we'll get back to it. So first thing I'm gonna do is curl my lashes, and again, if you curl your lashes from the base, but then just small little kind of crimps but small little crimps along the way, it does give more of an out and natural look versus that hard kink at the very root of your lashes and straight up. So just maybe give that a try if you're not a fan of curling your lashes, or you don't maybe like the way it looks. Maybe just try it in a different type of a curl. So to get started on our smoky eye, I am just using an old, this is the Kylie Jenner pressed powder, and this has got to be probably 2 years old by now. But I'm using this on purpose because I just want you to find any palette that you have. There's no need to go purchase a new palette. If you've got palettes that have a lighter color and then an extreme dark color, and then a few in between that can sort of be in that medium transition. If you've got that color spectrum, you can do a smoky eye with, I would say, 4 colors. So this is an old one. I really do like it because of the different, like these are great transition colors right here for this type of a smoky eye. Plus I love this dark one. So we're gonna go with that. And of course, like you gotta have leopard when you're doing a smoky eye, at least a brown smoky eye, right? So the first thing you wanna do is just take a fluffy brush and go in with whatever your sort of transition color is. I'm gonna go in with cookie dough, which is this kind of lemony color right here, or cookie dough color, and just go from your outer eye to your inner eye. Apparently I'm having a hard time talking and doing this at the same time, but we're just gonna sort of windshield wipe back and forth. And if you have hooded eyes, you can still do this technique. You're just gonna put the shadow right on the part of your eyelid that shows behind your lashes when your eyes are open. So we're just gonna continue that on both sides. So what do you guys think? Did anybody watch the Super Bowl the other day? Did you like it? What was your favorite commercial? There were so many good ones. So I don't know if it's snowing a lot where you guys are or if there's a lot of snow, but I am normally a winter person. It's one of my favorite seasons, probably my first favorite season. And this year I am just ready for it to be over, and I've never been like that. And I don't know why, if I'm just ready for the sunshine, but what's your guys' favorite season? Are we in it? Are we getting spring? A lot of people really like spring just because of all the new beginnings, the little lambs and all the pretty flowers and the tulips. Next thing we're gonna do is take that same fluffy brush and get that transition color off of it. And now I'm gonna go into Rosé, which is this orangey color right here. Again, any color for you that is just a little bit darker than your transition shade will be perfect. And I'm just gonna put that on the outer corner of that transition color, right on top of it, and go about halfway with that color. And I'm really just trying to blur that transition color and blur the edges on the top and the bottom of that transition color. The Smokey Eye is pretty similar right now to that cut crease. It's just the cut crease is only color above the crease, but it's still blended nicely and it gets darker as it goes out to the outer corner. The Smokey Eye is a similar type look. It's just some of the color is down on the lid instead of all above the crease. And while you have your fluffy brush, it's gonna be important to bring that just about halfway and then a real slight hand to bring that right to sort of that edge of the nose and into that eyebrow, just so it doesn't look like you stopped. And next you're going to want to take a pencil brush. This is a Sigma E30, just a real thin pencil brush. And I'm going to take my darkest color, which for this palette is Spice Plum, which I guess it is more of a darky plummy color. I thought it was more of a brown, but it's still gonna work perfectly with what I've got going on here today. And we're gonna put that right in that crease and go just about halfway, maybe, I don't know, a third of the way. But we're just gonna create that V. You've all seen this before. That V is really important in this type of a look. So we're just gonna go from the outer corner down to the corner of my lashes and back up. Down across the bottom of the lashes halfway and up in the transition halfway. And once you have the color deposited, then you'll go back with another fluffy brush. Any type of a fluffy brush will do. And just start to softly blend that in. And try to avoid getting that color on your eyelid, because that's where we want to keep some space or some real estate for a glitter type look or a shimmer right there. That's going to really help with that smoky eye. So try to keep this color off of your eyelid. The key to this, you guys, is to really blend and blend and blend and blend so that it doesn't end up looking like a black eye instead of a smoky eye. And that is, it can be a slippery slope. And a lot of times the difference is your blending. So you can see it start to come together there. And then I'm gonna go just a little bit more with that dark, dark color because it's not quite as dark as I want. And just put it in that corner. I wanna really build that color up. Just in that corner, just like that. So that if the sun was shining on it, where would the shade be? It definitely would be in that outer corner. And then we'll just blend that right in the same area, no more than halfway across your lid. And when I'm blending this at this stage, I like to hold my brush at the very end because it just gives me a lighter hand, and I'm not trying to deposit color, I'm not trying to move color around. I'm really just trying to blend, so this helps me do that. And then you want to also make sure that you're getting a nice straight line from the bottom tip of your brow all the way across to the end of your brow. So it's important as you're blending to really not kind of be blending all the way up to the eyebrow, but stay just below where your actual brow bone is. And you're going to get some on the outside of your eye. That is totally fine. You know, we'll clean that up with some concealer when we're done. I guess I better be doing both eyes at the same time or else we're gonna get done with the tutorial and I'll be like, wait a minute, something doesn't quite look right. All right, and then once you've got that dark color set in the corner, then you're gonna go back in with, I'm gonna use the Cocoa, which is that color right down here, second darkest in the palette. And I'm just gonna go over that dark area just to sort of warm it up and give it a little bit more depth. So we're just gonna create that V again with that second to darkest color that we use there, and just give it a little bit more dimension and some intensity to the color. And with a smoky eye, you don't want your main color to be a real dark color, so that's why we want to go over that darker color with this warmer cocoa color. And just because that's where sort of that smoky effect comes from, And don't be afraid to layer color on top of color, because that's really where you sort of get that blown out look. Now, the other thing to think about with the smoky eye is it's important that you don't go really too far in, like I've said, but you also don't want to go too high between your eye socket and your brow. Now, if you have hooded eyes, you're going to want to make sure that you leave some space between where your shadow stops and that highlight color that we're gonna want to put across here. And so you're really just going to want to keep those darker colors smoked out so that you're starting in the middle and going out. And then we're going to go to the bottom and come up in just a second. Next, I'm going to go back to that same pencil brush that we put that dark color on with. And then I'm going to get a little bit more of the darker color on this pencil. And I'm just going to go right on the brush at the tip of the brush. And that's going to be important because when we go under our eyes as we age, if we have a lot of shadow on the sides of a brush, then when we go to do this, it starts to then bring the shadow down lower on our eye where we don't want it. So it's really important when you do your lower lashes, especially as we age, that we deposit that color right on the tip of the brush, and that it's just the tip of the brush that is going on underneath our eye. So then I'm going to start with the outer corner and just go right at that lash line, holding your brush as straight as you can so that your point of your brush is what's hitting your skin and nothing else. The key to a smoky eye, one of the keys, there's several keys, is that you blend a nice soft color underneath that waterline, because we're going to use eyeliner in our waterline, both upper and lower waterlines, and you just don't want that to be the end of the color, and the contrast between makeup and your skin is that waterline. So this color underneath it adds the next color and the next level of dimension. And then from there, I'm just going to go to the color that we used as our transition color, also on the edge of my pencil, and go right over that same shadow that we just put, and then flick it out just so that we start to get a nice clean edge. And then we're just going to blend all that. I can still see a little bit of the darker color, and I don't like to see where a color starts or stops on myself, so I like to really blend that. Next, I'm going to take a tapered brush. This is the Sigma eyeshadowing E55. It's a dense brush with a lot of bristles, tightly packed. And I'm going to go in with that lightest color that's in this palette, and that is called Buttermilk. It might be a little too yellow, but we're going to see. And I just want to take that brush, and you'll notice that I deposited the color on the sides of it, because I just want to act as though I'm lining my brow. I'm wanting to take the edge of the brush underneath my eyebrow and let the color from the side go on the side of my face. That kind of makes sense? It makes sense as I was saying it, but then as I'm listening to it, it may not. Maybe it just would make sense to me. All right, so now that we've got the shadow in sort of the upper and lower parts of our eyes that we want, now we're gonna go in, and I'm just gonna do this with my finger because it's just, for me, I find it a little bit easier to control. I am gonna go in, and this is just over the primer, and I'm gonna go in with Glazed, which is sort of that shiny color right there in the center. And I'm just gonna go all the way to the corner and just press that in and bring it out to a little bit over halfway. So I want to put it over that halfway mark where we brought the other eyeshadow, so that I blur it just across that halfway mark. Great, they're coming together. They are coming together. Hopefully you're starting to see it coming together. I was a little skeptical myself at first, but I think we're making some progress. Next, I'm going to take a brown eyeliner, and this is the Smashbox Always Sharp in Penny Lane, and make sure this is really sharp. That's one of the things I love about these Smashbox eyeliners, is they're always sharp, and if they're not, they can be. So with this, I'm gonna tightline. This is why a waterproof eyeliner is really important, but you're not trying to cover that whole section underneath your lashes with eyeliner. You're really just trying to go to the base of the lashes so that they look thicker and fuller at the base. And as we age and we lose eyelashes, this is really important to fill in your waterline. And a tight waterline on your upper and lower lashes is really a signature characteristic of a smoky eye. And then you'll bring that as far down as you feel comfortable to the corner. I mean, you certainly don't want to line the whole thing. We are going to line the whole thing, but I don't think I could do it all in one circle, but if you can, then you save even more time. All right, and once you've done that, obviously try not to blink, because if you blink as soon as you put it on, then you're getting it moist and wet and it's gonna transfer to the bottom. We are gonna put eyeliner on the inside of our waterline on the lower lashes as well, but we wanna place it without taking it from the top. So now when we waterline the lower lashes, it's exactly the same thing. We're just going on the inside of the lash line, staying close to the lashes as possible, and then bringing that as far in as you're comfortable. I don't normally go all the way in unless I'm doing a smoky eye. Then we'll go all the way in. That is just not my favorite look, so it's hard for me to do it. You could do a smoky eye without going in the waterline. I just think it helps kind of create that dark smoky look when you've done that. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is line our lashes with eyeliner, and I'm just gonna go from the bottom and go up. I'm gonna do a little bit of a wing because this would be the time to do it if you wanted to try a wing. You just go from the outer corner and just go in an upward motion, and then I always do this side first with that outline just to make sure that I'm not and then once I feel like those angles are the same, not worrying about what's falling below because we're gonna clean that up with concealer, then I will take that where I stopped and just bring it. And for this, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna go about halfway in to our lash line and then sort of bury the color or the liner into that lash line. And you guys, it really doesn't matter if you want to do your eyeliner and then tightline, you can do it in that order, or you can tightline and then go back and do it this way. I tightline first, just because as I'm doing the rest of my makeup, I want to see where that sort of settles and where I need to go back over it. And that is a good indication of how it's going to settle when I've had my eye sort of closed to do my other eyeliner. And what would a smoky eye be without some eyelashes? So I'm going to go in with the Glamnetics. I showed you guys this one before. This is the little tiny pieces that are magnetic, which I was really excited about. Many of you said you were going to pick them up, so leave me a comment. Did you get them? Did you try them? Did you like them? What did you think? Did they just set off your holiday party, your Valentine's Day look? Let me know what you think of them. That was not a sponsored video either. I just found them and thought, oh, this might be the answer to my, I can't do false lashes or I can't do lash extensions, and false lashes are just my nemesis sometimes. So can I wear magnetic lashes? And the answer was yes, I can. Okay, so once that sets up and just starts to dry a little bit, just take a little magnet here of these magnet lashes. Oh, did I lose them? No. Oh, it helps if your tweezers aren't also magnetic, because that can be a problem, which I did not think about. Are there such thing as plastic tweezers? Yes. Where will I find some? Let me find some plastic tweezers. Note to self, do not try to put on magnetic lashes with a magnetic type tool. Doesn't work. Of course it doesn't. All right, let's find a new one. Okay, well, we don't have one, so we're gonna make this work. So I'm just gonna try to hold it at the far edge on the lashes themselves, and then release it. Okay, so apparently that isn't as hard as I made it seem. If you just put it on the very tip of the lashes and not at all towards the magnet, and just set them right in there, and voila. Yeah, it's off. Okay. Whew. Okay. Now that was not as easy as the first time I used those lashes. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't put on enough eyeliner, which is probably the case. I think if I was to put on more eyeliner and so that there was more of a magnetic formula for the eyelashes to stick to, I might not have had that same problem, but that was a little bit more work than I had expected. And yeah, I could have put on a whole strip for that, but that's okay. We are committed and it's gonna be fine when we're all done. So next I'm gonna go with some mascara, and you guys know I like to use this Lancome mascara, and I like to do 3 coats, but each coat has a very different purpose. The first coat is the whole lash from the bottom root all the way up to the top, and I try to wiggle it as much as I possibly can, just so that I'm also getting mascara on the high side of the lashes. And you can close your lashes and put the curl part of your brush so that it matches where your lashes are bending down. and twist up. I'm not as comfortable doing it that way, but you can. Now this is where you could get real fancy and put on a full thing of really pretty false lashes if you wanted to. That look just doesn't really work for me. It just doesn't look right on my face. And then before I do my second coat, while my lashes are still drying, I like to take, this is actually the bottom of my eyebrow brush. They do have eyelash brushes just for this. I didn't find that they worked as well as a more stiff brush like an eyebrow brush. But whatever brush you're comfortable, whatever sharp object you're comfortable putting this close to your eye, to separate your lashes is completely what works best for you. Well, not really sharp objects, but you know what I mean. In the brush makeup category. I wish I had somewhere to go tonight now that my makeup's gonna be all done. I don't normally wear it this dark. This is awesome. The second coat I do just on the outer half of the lashes, and then I try to elongate the eye and elongate the lashes by pulling as I pull up and I'm pulling out. And again, that's just the second coat. Next thing I will do is just take a really small pencil brush, and I'm gonna go back into our eyeshadow. I just wanna clean up under the eyes just a little bit. And I'm just gonna go in with that transition color again that we used on the top and go right over that darker color on the bottom and bring it all the way to the inner corner of my eye. And just give that a nice soft smoky look so that it's not too harsh. And then I'll go back in with my third coat of waterproof mascara. And I'll coat the entire top lash. And then for a smoky eye, I'll take whatever is left on that mascara wand and I'll just go to the outer corner of my lower lashes. Just to give a little bit more darkness in the outer corner, but not any more darkness through shadow or through eyeliner. Okay, 2 steps and we're finished. So thanks for hanging in there with me. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is take this e.l.f. This is the Flawless Brightening Concealer. I'm gonna go right on the inside of my eye and then just below where you might have colored outside the lines or something, it happens. And I like to press this in everywhere with my fingers because I think that the warmth from my hands just makes it apply better, and I'm really not trying to move the product, I'm just trying to blend it right where I put it to brighten the under eyes, but also to clean up those lines on each side. And then if you didn't already set that with a powder when you were doing your face makeup, then you could certainly do that now. Did you do it with me? I hope you did. So what do you guys think? There it is, our smoky eye. Now my eye is a little bit red, so I'm thinking that maybe that eyeliner I might be a little bit more sensitive to that eyeliner, so I've got to kind of take a look at that. You do start to realize that your eye is sensitive to maybe one of the products that you've used. That Lumify, I'm telling you, that stuff works so good. I would go do it now, but it would make my makeup run down my face. So you could probably do like a half a drop and just try to keep your makeup from running. But this should stay all night, all day, whatever. So I hope you go and do something fun with this makeup, whether it's now that you put it on or you have a special date coming up or a nice quiet night at home, or do it to go around and do your laundry if you want. Who cares? If makeup makes you feel beautiful, then I say go for it. I'm gonna go find something to do because my makeup's all done now. So thanks so much for getting ready with me. Have a good rest of your day and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.